Welcome to our exploration of classical conditioning, a fundamental concept in psychology that explains how we learn through association. Imagine hearing a familiar ringtone and immediately expecting a text message. This response is an example of classical conditioning at work. Classical conditioning occurs when we associate a specific stimulus with a particular outcome. This process was first discovered by Ivan Pavlov, a Russian physiologist, through his famous experiments with dogs. Pavlov noticed that dogs would start to salivate not only at the sight of food, but also when they heard the footsteps of the person bringing the food. Let's break it down further. There are three main components in classical conditioning: the unconditioned stimulus, the unconditioned response, and the conditioned stimulus. The unconditioned stimulus naturally triggers a response without any prior learning. For instance, food causes salivation in dogs. The unconditioned response is the natural reaction to this stimulus, such as salivating at the sight of food. Next, we introduce the conditioned stimulus, which is initially neutral and does not trigger the unconditioned response on its own. However, when this neutral stimulus, like the sound of a bell, is repeatedly paired with the unconditioned stimulus, it eventually becomes a conditioned stimulus. Over time, the dog begins to salivate at the sound of the bell alone, demonstrating the conditioned response. Now let's look at some real-world examples. Think about a student who feels anxious every time they enter a particular classroom because they once had a stressful experience there. The classroom has become a conditioned stimulus for anxiety. Similarly, a catchy jingle in a commercial can trigger a positive feeling or memory, encouraging you to purchase a product. In summary, classical conditioning shows us how our environment can shape behaviors and reactions through simple associations. By understanding this concept, we can gain insights into our own learning processes and behaviors. Thank you for joining us in this educational journey through the world of classical conditioning. We hope this explanation has sparked your curiosity and helped you understand this key psychological principle.